This disturbance in your life, it wasn't chaos, it was strategy. You weren't abandoned, you were observed, not by humans, but by forces that don't speak in words. They move in shadows, they bow to light. What if the resistance you felt was actually respect? What if the darkness didn't chase you, but backed away? Was it an attack, or was it a test? Was it warfare, or was it recognition? Because sometimes the storm that formed against you wasn't meant to break you. It was sent to confirm you. Stay until the end, because what you're about to hear may explain why certain people vanished, why strange help appeared in your lowest moment, and why even demons have been silent around you. Welcome to Chosen One's Prophecy, where the hidden are revealed and the marked are gathered. In Mark chapter 5, when Jesus approached the man possessed by legion, the demons inside that man didn't fight, they bowed. They recognized authority before it was even spoken. This is the mystery. You've been feared in realms you never knew you entered. You've been watched by beings who whisper your name when you sleep, and some of them helped you, not because they love you, but because they know what you carry, and they know the consequence of touching what has been sealed by God. Stay, because the signs that are about to unfold may explain your entire life. The Marked One. Why demons recognize you. You were marked before you were born. Not with ink, not with scars, but with a seal, invisible to man, undeniable to spirits. Even when you didn't know who you were, the darkness did. They didn't need your name. They saw your assignment. The moment your spirit touched earth, heaven whispered, "That one is mine." Demons don't attack the loudest, they attack the most dangerous. And you, Chosen One, you are dangerous to every lie, every bondage, every generational curse sent to linger. They recognized your spiritual DNA, the kind that dismantles altars, breaks cycles, and awakens nations. Just as Pharaoh feared the birth of Moses, and Herod feared the rise of Christ, hell feared you. Not for what you had done, but for what you were born to become. This isn't flattery, it's warfare. The resistance you faced was not random. It was targeted. You weren't delayed. You were disguised. What if they didn't destroy you? Because heaven wouldn't let them touch what had been sealed. Breathe. You've already survived what was sent to stop you. But now comes the harder truth. Why were you hidden for so long? Spiritual camouflage. Why you were ignored. Until now, you were hidden not because you were unworthy, but because you were too worthy to be seen too soon. Obscurity was your armor. Rejection was your cloak. Delay was the veil heaven used to shield you from premature exposure. David was anointed in secret. Joseph was buried in a pit. Jesus disappeared for 30 years before he ever worked a miracle. Why? Because divine assignments require divine hiding. What is visible too early becomes vulnerable too soon. So God wrapped you in silence, not as a punishment, as protection. The people who left you didn't abandon you. They were removed by divine order, because some voices can't echo your scroll. Some hands aren't clean enough to carry your oil. And while you questioned your worth in the wilderness, the spirit realm watched and waited. Because when a chosen one is revealed, heaven moves, and hell trembles. If this resonates, comment 4044 as a prophetic sign you are still listening and receiving. Now we enter the reason for your deepest pain. Why the fire had to find you. The fire and the forge. When attacks become assignments. You were thrown into flames, not to burn, but to be forged. This is where your enemies miscalculated. They saw weakness. God saw a weapon being welded in holy heat. Betrayal wasn't random. It was the tool God used to cut the cords of dependence. Loss wasn't punishment. It was the crucible of clarity. Like Joseph in the prison, like Job in the ashes, you weren't cursed, you were calibrated. Every tear you cried was molten prophecy. Every sleepless night was sharpening your discernment. Every door that slammed shut was actually locking you in with the only voice that mattered, His. You were never being destroyed. You were being defined. And now you carry fireproof faith, but not everyone survives the fire. Some walk away from their assignment, and that comes with spiritual consequences. The warning veil. What happens when you abort the assignment? There is a cost to being chosen, but there is a consequence for walking away from the call. When Jonah ran, the storm followed, not because God hated him, because the assignment doesn't dissolve when you disobey. It waits until you surrender. To carry a scroll and not open it is to live haunted by whispers you can't outrun. Your dreams won't settle. Your peace won't root, because your purpose still breathes. Some of you have tried to go silent, but the spiritual realm won't let you, because when a chosen one aborts their mission, the very demons that once feared you now mock you. This isn't about performance, it's about alignment. And when you are misaligned, everything in your life starts to feel off, because it is. But the moment you say yes again, heaven rushes to restore what hell tried to reroute. So ask yourself now, what assignment is still unopened in your spirit? Because what follows is your activation. The shielded flame. Why darkness fears. You demons don't just resist the chosen, they respect them, because they remember the power you carry, and they know the rules. Spiritual law protects the marked. You cannot be touched without divine permission. This is why you survived things that should have killed you, because even hell has boundaries. In Mark 5, Legion begged Jesus not to torment them. They negotiated because they knew who they were dealing with. And that's you. You walk in rooms unaware, while demons tremble in silence, because your light irritates their shadows. Your voice dismantles their strategies. Your presence exposes their disguises. But darkness is clever. If it can't destroy you, it will disguise itself as help. What do when even evil starts offering assistance? The imitation offer. When demons try to help. Not every open door is divine. Not every gift is from God. Some help is bait. Demons are not just destroyers. They are manipulators, and when they realize they cannot stop you, they attempt to join you, with hidden motives, a kind voice, a generous opportunity, a safe distraction, but behind it, a silent contract, a spiritual cost. This is why discernment isn't optional for the chosen. It's armor. When the enemy sees a rising one, he doesn't always attack. Sometimes he invests in your comfort, in your delay, in your distraction. But if you accept help that costs your purity, you've already begun to lose your authority. You weren't born to be supported by shadows. You were born to command them. This next part may confirm what you've been sensing all along. The gift of divine immunity. There's a protection over your life that no curse can override. This isn't superstition, it's spiritual infrastructure. You are surrounded by fire, not to consume you, but to warn what approaches. Isaiah 54:17 says, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." And that's not poetry. It's protocol. You've walked through storms untouched. You've been surrounded by sabotage, yet emerged stronger, because your protection is not always visible. But it is unbreakable. Demons know they can't touch what's been sealed. So instead, they observe. They whisper. They attempt to wear you down with fear. But when you stand in your authority, that immunity ignites, and everything that rises against you is forced to bow. This is not because you are perfect. It's because you are positioned. But immunity isn't isolation. It's preparation. For you are not the only one rising. The awakening remnant. You are not alone. There are others who dream like you, feel like you, walk with fire under their ribs and silence on their names. You've passed them. In coffee shops, online forums, in prayers whispered at 3 a.m., you didn't recognize them, but your spirits bowed to one another without words. The chosen are not a trend. They are a remnant, and they are awakening. This is not a movement, it's a revelation, a generation rising from exile, rejection, and delay, marked not by titles but by tears. You are one of them, and you were never meant to carry this alone. So what now? Why were you spared? Why were you shielded? The answer is in your scroll. The echo. Scroll, your assignment must speak. You carry something eternal, not just for you, but for them, the ones watching, the ones listening, the ones waiting for your obedience to unlock their release. This is not a platform, it's a pulpit written in heaven. When you speak, realms move. When you act, battles shift. This is why you were preserved. This is why demons backed off, not out of mercy, but because they saw what was inside you. Your scroll carries echoes into bloodlines, timelines, and nations. What you release now may save someone you will never meet. So speak, chosen one. Unseal what was hidden. And remember, you were marked. You were tested. You were sent. You weren't helped by darkness because you were weak. You were helped because even the shadows knew touching you meant invoking judgment. When you were wandering, you were still watched. When you were weeping, you were still sealed. And when you almost gave up, heaven still whispered your name through the fire. Chosen one, you've been stalked by silence, tested in rooms no one saw, preserved in storms that were meant to break others. But you are still standing. This is the sign. This is the hour, and this is the truth they never wanted you to know. You are feared in realms your feet haven't even walked yet, because what you carry was born in fire and cannot be stolen. You have been marked, you have been forged, and now you are being sent. If your spirit bears witness, comment 777 below as a seal of confirmation. Share what pierced you. Share what you're finally ready to release. This space is not a crowd, it's a remnant. Subscribe to Chosen One's prophecy and remain connected to the ones like you, those walking with scrolls in their bones and fire in their breath. You are not alone. You are the next echo,